Morning, how are we all today? It's still sunny. I was expecting rain this morning, but it's really nice outside. So plans for today are taking my granddaughter to the garden centre and buying something pretty, hopefully. Filling up my baskets is what I'm going to be doing. Hi, Kaz, Sharon, Maggie, Leanna, Sue, Samantha, Julie, Steph, Daisy, hello, Mandy, Wendy, and Valerie, Jenny Jones, morning, Anne-Marie and Sharon and Sandra. Oh, we're all here. Nice to have you along. Got some new fabrics to show you. I'm not going to bombard you. Did want to let you know that we've got some sale items on the website. Yasmin, Claire, Susan, Lynn, hello, morning. It is gorgeous, isn't it? Hi, Jean. Most of the new fabrics that are going on. So I've just lost YouTube. How did I do that? Are one-off pieces, and there will be more going on over the weekend as well. We basically, when we get to we normally put more in stock of the fabrics than we've actually got, just in case. So that just means that when we get to the end of a bulk, we've sold out on the website, but then we've still got lots of pieces of fabric left. So we're having a bit of a sale. A lot of them are half price, some of them are less. And yeah, there's loads there. So we're making room, basically. There's a lot of room being made. We've got so many pieces. I think we put 60 on yesterday and there's some more gone on today. So yes, if you want to bag yourself a bargain over the bank holiday, then have a look on Debbie Shaw's home and you'll see there that we've got loads of stuff. And again, it will continue over the weekend all the way through to Monday as well. Hello, Pat and Sheila and Janet and Helen and Elizabeth in Ontario in Canada. Hello. Samantha's just started making the new bag. Oh, this one, half yard one. I like that one. I like the recessed zip at the top. I haven't got another one to show you, but it's a nice secure bag as well. Oh, Kat has bagged a bargain, lovely. Hello, Susan, Francine, hello. Laura's had a peek. There's some very good bargains on there, very good bargains, and some pretty unique ones as well. I should have brought it down to show you. There is a huge piece of fabric, it's 4 meters, that I bought back from a shopping expedition in Delhi. So that's just a one-off unique piece. So it's beautiful. Anyway, we have Tula Pink for the first time. So Kim did a little bit of research with you and said, do you want it? And the overwhelming answer was yes. So we got it. Let me just get this up on my phone because it's only gone on just now. Oh, I'm glad you liked it, Anne. Glad you liked it. She liked the technique for the recessed zip. Where are we? I'm asking you and you don't know any better than I do. New arrivals, let's have a look. We've had a bit of an update on there as well. We've gone blue on the website. On blue. Like to keep it modern and fresh. Well, now then, we've got 4 pieces from the collection and we've got all 4 of them put together in fat quarters as well. So you can have a little taster of them with a fat quarter pack. So this one is Full Moon Forest. 2 Hoppy Go Lucky, that one's called. Cute, aren't they? We've got rabbits and pumpkins, are they? I don't know. And flowers. It's like a duck egg blue in the background. What are you going to be making? You know, there were so many of you that said, yes, we want Tula Pink. What have you got in mind? Are you a Tula Pink fan? What do you look at when you see that? I just think cushion cover. I think that would be amazing because it would be nice to kind of use the majority of them. They do come in half meters. So if you wanted to guarantee you're going to get all 4 rabbits, you need to order a meter of those. Otherwise, you might get something like this, so it's chopped into. But it is by the half meter. It's not a panel. And this is... Oh, hang on a minute. Shake Your Honey Maker. Oh, no, it's not. That one is Shake Your Honey Maker because it's got bees on it. Assuming the bees. With little hearts in their wings. Wouldn't you love to be inside her mind? Janet says they are so lovely. Laura, you will have to adjust this. Wouldn't make too much difference, to be honest. An N3, number 3 zip is normally 1 inch wide, so measure the width of your zip. And if it's more than 1 inch wide, you may have to increase your seam allowance a little bit. So yeah, it's minimal. I wouldn't worry about it. I'd go with it anyway. Morning, Jackie. Biz, Samantha loves them. Shopping, delivery, one stop away, bad timing. Oh, hi, Rita. Fabric and lovely colours. They are amazing, aren't they? They're so fun, so much fun. So again, have another look. We've got bees, we've got flowers, and it's all in this kind of grid work. You could quilt that, couldn't you? That would look exceptional. That would be really nice. Now the £9.50 for half a metre. Tula Pink, not just the unique and colourful prints, but of course the quality of the fabric's there as well. You'll know that. You'll know that. Hi, Chrissy. And then this one is formerly for us. Too Hotty Patootie. Too Hotty Patootie. So that's quite a big design. I'd be inclined to go for a metre, just to make sure that I've got, because that's got to be central, hasn't it? But in a pocket on a bag. I've done one, Sue, a dog walking tote bag with lots of pockets. If you're a Half Yard Club member, there is one, which is one of my favourite bags, actually, on the Half Yard Club, which is around me here somewhere, because I had all the bags that I've got out. Yeah, it's got pockets on the side, it's got a pocket on the flap, it's got pockets on the inside, it's got a poo bag dispenser. Yeah, have a look on the bag section. I think it's called a utility bag or an all-purpose bag, can't remember, but there is one on there anyway. Hannah J, morning to you, how are you? Anne loves the owl. It's beautiful, isn't it? Be middle of a cushion cover or a flap on a big bag. That would, oh, you could even kind of cut it that shape, couldn't you? That would be gorgeous. Hooty Patootie. What you called it, Kim? Hooty Patootie. Kim says the spell check doesn't like that name. I'm not surprised, and I'm not going to ask you what it came up with. Hello, Bridget. And then the final one that we have is the branch manager, which is this one. And it's, can you see the squirrel yet? Isn't it lovely? That's really unusual. That takes you can see the eye, but I thought at first it was some kind of bird, but when you look at it, it's a squirrel with a curly tail. That's so clever. So buy the half metre, or you can have a taster of all four with 4 fat quarters as well. And that basically, I mean, I've got half a metre there, but that's the size of a fat quarter, which is half of what you get if you order by the half metre. So you'll get that much if you order by the half metre. But if you split that in half, that's your fat quarter, and you'll get all 4 of those. Morning, Shirley, how are you? Hi, Anne. Saw you wearing the Half Yard Club skirt on Sewing Street at Love. Thank you very much, Deirdre. Thank you. Wow. Oh, hi, Cherry. Samantha says, woohoo. 2 squirrels. Are there 2 squirrels? 2 squirrels in there? It's covered in squirrels. So we've got one there. There's hundreds of them, look. There. So facing that way and then facing that way, all the way across. Rather lovely. Hello, Brenda in Kentucky. How are you today? What's your weather like over there? A calendar for May. It should be on the Half Yard Club Facebook page. They normally put it on there. Or on the blog on the Half Yard Club website. I forget to share it on mine, but if you have a look on Half Yard Club, it should be on there. Normally put them on the first. Or Shirley loves the owl fabric. Lovely. Do you have to fussy cut those to get animals in the half metre? We're not fussy cutting, I'm afraid, Kaz. So you should, like with the owls, you should get a whole one if you go for half a metre. I'll make sure you get a whole one if you go to half a metre. I'll have a word with the girls. So you get a row of whole ones across the middle. Oh, Biz says the May calendar's on the Half Yard Club Facebook page. Good, because I don't do that, so the girls normally put that up on the 1st. Could you guarantee though that half metre cut would have the L central? Can't guarantee that they'll have the L central. I'll ask the girls to do the best so you get a whole owl. I don't know about them being absolutely central though. It looks like you could. It looks like you would. I'll make sure that you don't just get half an owl anyway. Because half an owl would be pretty useless, wouldn't it? So I'll try and make sure that you get the owls across the centre. The shift dress, Deirdre, is going on the Half Yard Club on June the 8th. Jane, it's cool in Blackpool, that's a shame. Hello Diane in Wisconsin, welcome along. Very nice in Lancashire, says Christina. Oh good, oh good. We've got some new lawns as well. So a lawn, if you're not aware, is a finer thread than a quilting cotton, so it has a smoothness, and normally classed as dressmaking fabric, so it's wider. This is 140 centimetres wide, but it's got that really smooth finish to it, so you can still use it for quilting. It's got a tighter weave, so a quilting cotton like this one is designed to have a looser weave so to accommodate needles and hand stitching, makes it easy to sew through. A lawn's got a bit of a tighter weave, but there's no reason why you can't still use it for homewares and bag making. So it's not just the dressmaking element to it. There's so much more that you can do with a lawn. It doesn't have the fluidity that, so I'm just looking for prices, that a viscose would have. So I don't think I'd use this on the ruffle hem skirt. It doesn't have that kind of flow. It's a little bit firmer. Oh, I'm just going through all this sale stuff. Because this went on just before yesterday, I think. Oh gosh, we've got loads on there still. Oh, here we go. So this one is cotton poplin, floral on dusty pink. And this one I love. Flowers on gold. I think that is a really classy fabric. Now imagine that as a lining, a jacket lining or a bag lining. You might think that's a little bit of a waste, but I think it's quite, particularly on a jacket, it's quite nice, you know, when you're going out for dinner or something and you give your jacket or hang your jacket up and you see that flash of something amazing on the inside. Hello Jan. Made a Miss Messenger bag for myself and I loved it. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Might have a look at some of the past books at some point, maybe revisit them and make some bags from them. Dull but dry for Karen today. A tea box top. A tea box top. It's got no stretch in it though. Tea. I think you'd need a stretch, a jersey for a box top. Thank you, Leslie. Just thinking, oh, Brenda's dropping in to say hi, off for a walk with a friend. So have a lovely walk in this lovely weather. She's going to catch up later. Yeah, inside a navy jacket would be amazing, wouldn't it? And this one is painted flowers. So again, it's another lawn. A really classic design, but again, it's just, oh, really smooth. Really lovely quality as well. Hello, Trudy and Amanda. Just taken Puppy out to socialise. Oh, lovely. We've fed the ducklings this morning. They're coming and going now, so they'll wander back down to the village pond, and then they come up here early in the morning, stay till about now, disappear off, then they come back later on, and then we've got a new couple as well. I think I told you. So maybe next year. Maybe next year we'll have 2 lots of eggs. Right. Oh, I was going to show you that. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Because we had these on Sewing Street last week, and they're new templates. These are quarter circles. So you can do things like this, or you can do things like Kaz did with the cushion covers, or the apron, double-sided apron that she made there. And Melissa made this, and that's all I've brought down with me. But there's 2 different sizes, and if I show you the packaging, and there's loads more than you can make, those are just some of the designs that you can make with a quarter circle. So you can do a apple core. I don't know what the names of all of these are. You can do clamshell. That was what I was originally thinking, was having a clamshell template. And then when I was working with my template design, she was actually, you can do so much more if you do it this way, if you have 2 templates. So this is how they're going to come to you. So I just went a bit confused. My camera there, I moved too quickly. So they'll come to you like this with the white protective film on, and then you can take that off, put that in there, and store them, because they will be completely transparent. And this is what you get. So you'll have bits that fit inside there, that one in there, and then 2 bits that look like that. Now the idea is, obviously that goes with that, and that goes with that. The outside bits are seam allowances. So I'm just going to iron my fabric, and I'll just show you quickly how this works. I've got 2 layers there, we only want 1 at a time with these. And we'll do a contrast. So obviously you choose prettier fabrics than the scraps that I've got here. Mind you, nothing wrong with the scraps I've got here, really. A simply elasticated flow-to gathered skirt. Not at the moment, Janet, not at the moment. But we are planning ahead, so I'll bear that in mind. Right. So you can either use scissors. Do you know, I've got everything together to bring down here and didn't bring the scissors. Oh, I've got my snips, that'll do. So, decide which way around you want the colours to be. So I'm going to go for the bigger part in the blue. And what you'll need to do, I had a pen a minute ago. There we go. If you're using scissors, you can line up the edge of that actually with a right angle if you have one, and draw around the outside edge. And then if you want to draw around the seam allowance, we're just going to go inside there. Do that all the way around if you like, and then cut that out. And the same with the other bit. So I'll do the large one because it's easy to see. So again, find a right angle or cut a right angle. These measurements are quite important that you cut them accurately. And draw around there. And then you can't get right into the corner, but you can draw your seam allowance there as well. Or you can cut with your rotary cutter, but I suggest you put this bit back on the inside, because now I've got a larger surface area to hold it. Otherwise you're just going to be grabbing that right at the edge. So again, find a right angle, cut a right angle, draw a right angle, and then use a small rotary cutter. So I've got a 28mm rotary cutter, and just cut around the shape. And the same with this one. So, oops, found the big one. So cut yourself a right angle. I mean, we've sold quite a few hundreds of these, so anybody got one already? Have you made anything already? I'm just going to put the centre in this bit. So again, I've got more of the template to actually hold on to while I cut around the edge. Normally stand up and do that. There we go. And then we need to sew them together. So right sides together, and I think this is what puts a lot of people off with sewing curves, because we're sewing a concave to a convex and it's not going to want to go. So what I like to do is to fold this in half and crease it. Fold this one in half and crease it. And then you can either use lots and lots and lots of pins, or you can make it easier for yourself and use a glue stick. So I'm going to, within the seam allowance if I can, put a generous amount of glue around the edge, and then line up the right angle corner here, the creased centre mark, and the right angle corner at that end, and then squish the edges together. Ease it a little bit if you need to, in other words, pull it a little bit. We don't want any puckers in there, but if you need to pull that a little bit just to make it fit, then that's absolutely fine. I would do this one at a time if you're gluing, because your glue is not going to hold for that long, it's a temporary one. So pop that around there, that in there, a lot easier than pinning, and it makes it a lot flatter for you to sew rather than taking your pins out and sewing around. That's not quite meeting up at the edge. So you see, I've got a little bit of wiggle room. I can just keep manoeuvring that until it matches. You get quicker at this the more you do. And then sew from the top side. So just pop those out of the way. And bring this in. And with your 1/4 inch seam allowance, not quite at a right angle, we'll sew all the way around, and again just smoothing that out and making sure there's no wrinkles underneath the fabric. And then back to the ironing board, and we'll press that to the side that it wants to go to. You could press the seam open and snip into it. You could press to the dark side. I'm choosing the simple way because that's the way that it wants to go. And then you've got your perfect curve. So with this now being a 1/4 inch seam allowance, when the next piece goes on top, that'll form a point. So I'd make a few up in whatever colours that you want. So I'd do them the same and then just play around and see what different designs you can come up with, because although there's 12 on the packaging, I'm sure you can make an awful lot more than those. So again, we've got all the stock back from Sewing Street now, I think, so we've got plenty of stock for you. And share when pictures, if you're on our Facebook group, I'd love to see what you're making with them, because as I said, I'm sure there's so many more designs that you can do with these. Remember, you've got 2 sizes as well than we've been showing you with the samples. Morning, Deb. Oh, I know, Laura. That's happened a few times. It's a beautiful day in Devon, says Priscilla. Lovely. Jane did this in the Christmas block of the month. It'll be much easier with the templates. It's the accuracy of having a template, isn't it? It's easy and it's accurate. And you could hand sew it if you wanted to do a little bit of EPP. Talking of which, I did show you, I think, the other day. Well, I'll put a picture on the Half Yard Club of a little piece that I was doing with the next templates that are coming out, which I shan't show you yet because they're not due till the end of May, but I just thought I'd get prepping well in advance. So this is the smaller size. They're 1 inch squares and 1 inch elongated hexagons. And I just started and see where it was going to go, really, and it went to here. And then I realised I'd spent about 4 hours doing it. I'd always put the small piece on top, yes, Gina, so that you can see where, if it's going to wrinkle, it'll be in the small piece. So just where you can see where you're going. The project bag, no, we don't have a pattern for that one, I'm afraid. It's Melissa made this, as a sample, just to show what you can do with the bag. We will be making one on our retreat, which I think there are 2 places left now. And this is one of Susie Duncan's with patchwork on the back, which she will probably let us have the pattern on the website for that after we've been for the retreat. So I'll keep you posted on that one. So I've hand sewn all of this together, and thanks for all of your suggestions as well. I don't think I could bear making it into a table runner. The thing when you're using smaller pieces, well, any pieces if you're English paper piece, or quilting for that matter, when you first start and you do the central one and you sew the next 4 around it, it's grown, it's twice the size, it looks really quick, and then you put another row on and it kind of grows a little bit, and the bigger it gets, putting 1 more piece on doesn't seem to make any difference, and that's when I kind of lose the will, so to speak. So I've taken out all of the paper pieces, and because I'm going to trim the edge, I'm just going to open up the end pieces. If I was going to use this as a piece of applique, then I'd keep all of the ends folded over and then just top stitch around there. But I'm going to chop them off, so I'm going to open it out a little bit like that. So I didn't know, I had no plan as to what size this was going to be or anything like that. But I thought it looked okay, and for a little zip bag I think that's going to be absolutely fine. So that'll do for that. We don't sell the clear polythene at the moment, Nancy, I'm afraid, no. It actually works out quite expensive because it's really heavy. It comes on a big roll. We did used to sell it in fat quarters, and it's really difficult to cut down, so we haven't had that for a while. Right, so let's cut this down. A 12-inch ruler, yeah. So I'm just going to trim it to make it square. So I'll nut it with my board, and excuse me. Nice and square on the bottom. And on the side. And on that side. Also, it's neater when it's trimmed down, doesn't it? So I now have a piece which is about 6.5 inches by 10. Now for the back of this, I thought 1 piece of plain fabric isn't going to be special enough. So I've got 2.5-inch strips, which we don't sell, but they will be doing. I'm not sure if they're still on the website on Sewing Street. They did have jelly rolls, or 2.5-inch strips, exclusively to Sewing Street, but I'm not sure if they're there or not. They will. Their next show is on the 27th of May. They will be there then. And I'm going to sew strips together and just make a stripy back to it. So let's pull you in over here and just get these sewn together. So I just need to sew as many as it takes to cover the back of it. So I haven't done maths or anything on this one. I'll just keep sewing until we get there. And I'm using about 1/4 inch seam allowance, not set in stone. Janet's just finished her EPP. It took 3 years, mainly because I did not use a pattern. Just added tumbling block after. Oh, I love tumbling blocks. I think that's my favourite EPP. My favourite patchwork design. It's really effective. And after all that, the dog loves sleeping on it. Let's put a butterfly on there, and then I'll just offer it to the front and see if it's big enough to cover it. I think I'll do a patterned lining on this as well. Normally keep my plains for lining, but I think I'll use a print for this one. covers it. So iron first, and I'm just going to press all the seams in the same direction. Yvonne's a new member on the Half Yard Sewing Club. Can someone explain where to find the discount code? If you go to my blog, thank you, Leslie. Yes, go onto my blog and you'll see the discount code there. Right, and then we'll cut that down so that it's the same size as the outer. No, we'll do it straight. Yeah, you still get your 10%, by the way, on sale items as well. So if you're having a look at all of those end of bolt bargains that we've got on the website, bear in mind that it's that price plus 10% if you're a club member. Worth joining the club for that, isn't it? Oh, I did spill my coffee on my mat. Yes, I did, Gina. I normally try and use it the other way around so you don't notice. Right, so that's that. And then a couple of lining pieces. I've got a bit left there. Oh, look at that. It's as if it was a plan. So lining pieces cut to the same size. And then I'm just going to make a zip pouch because I use them so often. I don't think you can ever have enough. But this is a little bit fancy. It could make a nice gift bag, wouldn't it? You know, a cosmetic bag or somewhere to keep your hair accessories and that kind of thing would be really nice. Okay, let's take those away. And then I think we're done with cutting. So I've got 4 pieces and that look like that. So that's my lining. Could have put a little pocket on the inside actually, I think it's big enough. And let's give the ironing a bit of a press. And then I'm going to put some H630 I think on the back of this one. So I'll leave the ironing mat out. Morning Vanessa, how are you? Need a little bit of steam. Fee sent me this lot. She says it's a game changer. Oops, there we go. That's better. Hello WMA. Sylv's been out shopping. Lovely. What you bought? Or is it food shopping today? Right, so let's put that in the bin. Take a piece of H630 I'm using on this one. You could use a craft fleece, you could use H640. This is a small piece that I just had in my stash really, because you never throw anything away, do you? I will turn that over actually, just in case any of that stain transfers, because we wouldn't want that after all that hard work, would we? This is a Prim mini iron, Wendy. It's really handy for anything like this. I keep one, I've got a few of these. I keep one at the side of my sewing machine on a little mat like this, just in case you just want to press a seam open or you've got smaller projects like this to do. So I don't have to walk into the other room where I keep the iron. And I don't have to, because I've got quite a big generator iron and it obviously uses more electricity than this. But it keeps everything to hand, particularly if you're not very mobile. Nice to have everything all around you. Put that on there. Bye T, happy sewing to you too. See you next time. Oh, Sandra's going to a VE party later. Oh, how lovely. Right, so let's do that. I think I'm going to top stitch just along the stripes. Shall I quilt that? No. Answering my own questions there. Let's snip away here. This is when my bigger scissors would have been handy. Right, let's use a rotary cutter. Oh, Susan's got a cleaning head on today. I've got a gardening head on today, so I've got Vienna over, my middle granddaughter, and we're going to see what they've got at the garden centre. I know they'll probably say it's a little bit too early, but I'd like to put some colour into the garden today. Cool and sunny in Essex, says Alana. Right, so just trimming off those bits. Right. And then I'm just going to stitch alongside the stripes, on one side of the stripes. And look at a quilt. The fabric of the top I'm wearing. I bought it from Next Jewel, so I don't know where they get the fabrics from, I'm afraid. I have tried the gloves, Alana. Yes, they're quite relieving, aren't they? Thank you for that. Okay, just 3 lines, that's all I'm going to do there, just a little finishing touch. I haven't planted my seeds yet though. And then let's get this zip on. So I'm not going to put tabs on the end or anything, we're just going to have the zip go straight into the ends. So that on there. Needle over to the left hand side. So this is the bit we've done 100 times before, but maybe you haven't seen it. And straight down the middle of the zip tape. And then a lining piece on the opposite sides. So lining goes on top of there with the zip in the middle. And I like to sew from the side that I've just sewn from, so I can see where I'm sewing, so I know I'm sewing in the same place. Because obviously now I can't see the zip to sew down the centre because it's inside. So I've got that, and then I'm just going to fold that back and top stitch just to hold it in place, keep it looking nice. And then second one on the other side, so outer section, right sides together. I was just checking that my butterfly is the right way up in the centre. Line up the edge of the fabric to the edge of the zip and the edge of the fabric that I've just sewn. And move my needle over. And so. And then the lining goes on the opposite side, right sides together, and again line up the edge of the fabric and the edge of the fabric down here as well. And of course feel free to stick a few pins in there first. And as before, we'll open that up and just top stitch alongside the zip. Pulling the lining away on the underside because obviously I can't see that, it's all hidden. And then chop off the end of your zip. Chop off this end of the zip and make sure that the zip pull is out of the way. And then I'm just going to sew over the ends of the zip to close it, so close to the edge, just to hold that together while we construct the bag. Try walking foot. If you've got problems with the layers shifting when you're sewing through them, Jane, try a walking foot, because that will feed the fabric from the top at the same rate as it's fed at the bottom, so there's less likelihood of it slipping. Right, then we'll take the two pieces and put right sides to right side, lining to lining, zip open, and we'll sew all the way around with a turning gap in the bottom of the lining, and when you come to the zip, push it towards the lining side. Visiting my mother-in-law. Oh, see you, Alana. Hope everything's okay. Right, let's put that down there. That goes to lining. And we'll just go all the way around. So over the zip. I like to increase the seam allowance slightly on the lining, which helps it to sit inside the bag a little bit better, so only by a tiny little bit. So there's my turning gap. I think we'll box the corners a bit as well. So zip towards lining. Line those two up. And straight across the bottom. Then we're going to open this out so that the side seam sits over the base, and keeping that nice and square, and sew straight across, and I'm going to sew about 1 inch from the end, so it's only going to be a little box bottom corner. The fabric, oh sorry I missed that one, what's the fabric, what? The fabric next to the check bag. That is an apron, a double-sided apron that Kaz made with the new templates. Is that the one that you meant? Or the fabric in the bag next to the check bag? I can't remember what it's called. If you put Japanese into this search engine, you should find it there. It's a cotton. I've got 2 colours in that one as well. Do the same with all 4 corners here. Stitch across there. So I've done a few of these, so I can kind of sew that by eye. But if you wanted to measure, that'd be good. Right, let's put that there. Do the same on the lining pieces. Morning, Dawn. How are you? I don't know, May. She's asking how I'm going to use it. I normally with these keep sewing bits and bobs in them and scissors and things like that. Because I have, well, 3 sewing areas really down here, just chopping those corners off. So I like to keep stuff here, and then in my studio where I do all the sewing, and then I've got like a cutting room as well. So a lot of the time I'm using the same tool, so I like to keep them organised. So it'd probably be sewing bits and bobs, maybe threads or something like that. Right, so let's turn this the right side out. And like that. a prim cordless iron. Mine's got a cord. I don't think they do a cordless one. Mine's a plug-in one, Wendy. Okay, so let's push that through. Check everything's looking good before I close the turning gap. So let's sew straight across here. Like so. Snip off the ends. And then let's push the lining inside the bag. Push out those box corners. Quite a sweet little bag, this. But the EPP did take me a good 4 hours. It was a very nice way to spend an afternoon in the sunshine, I have to say. So where do these come from? These little threads, where do they come from? Carol says, I found these bags so useful first time I've watched ever made one. It was not great, but still use it. That's the thing, it doesn't have to be great. I mean, if you're selling it or giving a gift or anything, it's quite nice if you've got a lovely bag. But if I'm using it myself, I'm not too fussed. I'm just looking to see if I've got a little bit of ribbon. So much stuff in these storage baskets, because I think it's quite nice to put a ribbon through the zip. Ooh. But I don't think I've got one narrow enough. That's where my pink and shears went to. I shall do that when I get back down to my office, because I'm sure I've got some, well, I've got ribbon down there. So that's that, isn't that? Don't think that's really sweet. It's a nice size. It really shows off a little bit of English paper piecing. And if you wanted to make it just from strips of fabric, there's no reason why you couldn't do that as well. If you wanted a quicker project, maybe. But it's a great way of using little bits of scraps as well. Remember, these are only 1 inch squares. So, you know, 1.5 inches with your seam allowance, that's all it's going to take. One thing I do with English paper piecing, particularly, maybe not if I was going to wear it, but for something like this, whenever I finish a seam, I'll put a little tiny, maybe a pinprick little dot of glue just to hold the threads in place, because it seems no matter how tight my knots are when I finish it, they do kind of work their way undone. It does. Oh, it needs a tassel. Susie Duncan, absolutely. Yep, so that's that. So the new templates will be on Sewing Street on the 27th. There's all different sizes, they're not just 1 inch, they go up to 7 inches, so they're pretty big templates. So I shall show you those nearer the day. Right, anyway, I'm going to go because the garden centre is a-calling. I shall see you on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Just do that and move that there and do that there. Don't know what we're going to do. Remember to check out all of the sale items that we've got on the website as well. And remember, there will be new items going up over the weekend. We've got a lot of end of bolts and end of rolls of fabric that we're going to put on there at half price. Well, thank you, Janet. I'm glad you liked it. Here's the ribbons from the insides tops. Yes, that's a good idea. I've chopped all of these off, I think. Oh no, that's too small. Yeah, because they stick out, don't they? Fine for keeping them on the hangers, but no, I think I'll chop that out. Okay then, so thanks for joining me today, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I shall see you again on Wednesday at 4 o'clock. Bye bye.